Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Thira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Kishore Kishori Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Gauran. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Haribol. Hari Gaur Premanande. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramamsa Parirajkara Shrotra Sata Simal Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda. ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार स्तोत्र सत श्रीमद शिवाय भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 7, Text 16 and 17. Together, text 16. Kava sarva gunopetya vaisa swarga rukmalini atma bhujam bhutartyetaya pradayetye charnam bhuta. Gava sarva gunopetya vasa sargarukma malini atma budatyaya yatyeta pradayetva charnam bhutta. Gava sarva gunopetya vasa sargrukma malini atmam budhaya yatyartha pradaye charanam ujata. Gava sarva gunopetya rukmamalini atmaja vyudhyayapyaya pradate chavanunjata Gava sarva gunopetya Vasa sagrupma malini Atmajam bujayatartya Vradate chanvayunjata Gava sarva gunopetya Vasa sagrupma malini Atmaja bhujaya tyakta pradate chanuyajata Gava sarva gunopetya Vasa sagrupma malini Atmajam bujayatartya Pradate chanvayunjata Word to word meaning Gava cows Sarva guna apetya being fully qualified by giving sufficient milk etc. Vasaha well dressed Srag with flower garlands Rukmamalini and with the garlands of gold Atmajam budayatyetta for the purpose of his son's efficiency. Pradayat gave in charity. Te those brahmanas. Cha also. Anujayate accepted them. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Nanda Maharaj, for the sake of his affluence of his own son Krishna, gave the Brahmanas cows fully decorated with the garments, flower garlands and gold necklace. These cows, fully qualified to give ample milk, were given to the Brahmanas in charity. The Brahmanas accepted them and bestowed blessings upon the whole family and especially upon Krishna. Purport. Nanda Maharaj first fed the Brahmanas punctuously and then gave them in charity first-class cows, fully decorated with the golden necklace, garments and the flower garlands. So we'll read 17 also. I'll just read translation and purport. The Brahmanas who were completely expert in chanting the Vedic hymns, were all the yogis fully equipped with mystic powers. Whatever the blessings they spoke were certainly never fruitless. Purport. Brahmanas fully equipped with a Brahmanical qualification are always yogis fully powerful in mystic yoga. Their words never fail. In every transaction with other members of the society, Brahmanas were certainly dependable. In this age, however, one must take into account that the Brahmanas are uncertain in their qualifications because there are no Yajnik Brahmanas. All the Yajnas are forbidden. The only yajna recommended in this age is Sankirtana yajna. Yajnai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajanti Sumedasaha. Bhagavatam 11th canto 5th chapter 32nd verse. Yajna is meant to satisfy Vishnu. Yajnat karmano yatra loko yam karma bandhanaha. Because in this age there are no qualified brahmanas, people should perform yajna by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Yajnai Sankirtane Prayai Yajanti Sumedasaha. Life is meant for yajna, and yajna is performed by the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamahum Vande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. If you are facing sun, you can come nearby so that. Hare Krishna. This chapter is entitled The Killing of Demon Trunavata. By this we can understand, after killing the demon, Nanda Maharaj was very concerned about his child protection. It's natural for every parent to give protection and to have concern about one's own child. So here in this today's verse, we are seeing that Nanda Maharaj is giving charity to the Brahmanas and asking the blessings from the Brahmanas. It's a deeply rooted Vedic culture in the society. Whereas the Brahmanas has to perform 6 kinds of duties, then only he is called a qualified Brahmanas. Otherwise not. What are the 6 kinds of duties? Yajan, Patan, Dana Pratigrahana. So Yajan, he should perform yajna, fire sacrifice, and he should make others also engage in the fire sacrifice. That is first qualification. And the second qualification is Patan. He should study the Vedas and he should engage others also in studying the Vedas. Dana Pratigrahana. So he should give in charity and take charity. So these 6 kind of duties, one who performs perfectly, he is called a qualified Brahmanas. And since in the age of Kali there is no qualified Brahmanas, Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that one must take in account that there is no qualified Brahmanas. So what we can do in this age of Kali, Srila Prabhupada recommends that only one yajna should be performed. Yajnai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajantihi Sumedasaha. So when you perform yajna, then Yajnai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajantihi Sumedasaha, then automatically you will become a qualified Brahmanas. Once Srila Prabhupada was traveling in India, so he went to Hyderabad in South India. There he went to a farm temple which is away in the suburbs, 20-30 miles. So there he had a Krishna Balram temple. So it was newly inaugurated, the open temple, and that landowner gave a donation of 500 acres land for the ISKCON society. So then Srila Prabhupada had the press meeting. Then in that press meeting, one of the journalists was a little bit, he is a Brahman, he is so-called Brahmana. So he was asking Srila Prabhupada question, Prabhupada, what is your aim of your movement? What is the purpose of your movement? Then Srila Prabhupada repeat this shloka, Yajnai Sankirtanai Praya Yajanji Sumedasa. Okay, then what is the main purpose of your movement? Because we have scarcity in presently, because there are no rains, and how are we people gonna survive? What are you gonna do for the society? He was asking in a social manner. So how your society is gonna contribute to a society? So how we can able to study the Vedas, because there are no qualified Brahmanas? And Srila Prabhupada replied same answer, Yajnai Sankirtanai Praya Yajanti Sumedasa. And that the journalist couldn't understand. And Srila Prabhupada repeatedly said 3 times, and he said, when you perform yajna, automatically you'll get rain. When you have a rain, automatically you'll get crops and food grains. By that, all your problems will be solved. So some people are so accustomed to perform yajna, then they will ask certain kind of questions. Because the journalist was a Brahmin, so he was asking the same question, what is the purpose of movement? Why you are not performing yajna? The only yajna in this age of Kali is recommended Sankirtan yajna. And otherwise, where we don't have any food grains, we don't have any rains. If we don't have any rains, we don't have any food grains. And how are you gonna survive? So where is the question of pure Brahmanas? When you want to become a qualified Brahmana, that means you have to perform Sankirtan yajna. By Sankirtan yajna, then it is very, very easy, and everybody can participate in the Sankirtan yajna. When you ask them to perform Sankirtan yajna, it will take a lots of paraphernalia and lots of ingredients. We need a pure cow milk, cow ghee, and all kinds of grains. When you don't have that, you will not get the fruit of the yajna. There was another incident took place. One congregation member, he asked the Hare Krishna devotees to come and perform yajna. Then the devotees told, well, we can do this Sankirtan yajna. Then he was so strict. He said that, no, I want fire sacrifice to be done in my home. Then he said that, no, we can do also fire sacrifice, but this is yajna recommended in this age. Then he was so adamant, so he want to be performed this yajna, fire sacrifice yajna only. Otherwise, I'm not gonna have any house program in my house. Then devotee said, well, okay, we can do the yajna, whatever we know. Then all the devotees went home, and they started performing yajna in the real fire sacrifice. And that owner, he was saying, I need more fire, more fire. Then their devotees started putting ghee and all the way, and they're chanting all the mantras, whatever they know. And the owner was saying, more fire, add more fire. Then he was keep on adding. Then suddenly the fire went up, and fire alarm rings. Then all the water came and filled with the house with water. Then devotees replied, this is what will happen when you perform yajna, naturally you will get rain water. So some people are there so adamant, and they want this perform yajna, but it is according to the scriptures, there are no qualified Brahmanas and there are no qualified ingredients, but still we do in our movement, because that is the purity and what are the of the spiritual master, and that is recommended by our Acharya, how to perform yajna. It doesn't mean that we should not perform any yajna. It means that you should perform yajna with the necessary things what you have. Srila Prabhupada in the beginning, he didn't perform yajna for giving initiation. He just gave initiation like that. But we cannot imitate Srila great acharyas. But when we have everything, because in the beginning it was the movement was very, it was in the beginning it was very small, so he did like that. But whereas now it has grown, and we need to make qualified brahmanas. When you make qualified brahmanas, then they will chant mantras very nicely, and they will do yajna. By performing yajna, all the demigods and everybody will be pleased. The most important thing is Lord Vishnu is pleased. That is the purpose of the yajna. It should not that the purpose of yajna to have a fruit and to enjoy the fruit of the results. So one should perform yajna regularly, and by performing regularly chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and performing yajna, then you will achieve perfection in your life. So for devotees, we need to sacrifice our time in performing this yajna by chanting regularly 16 rounds, and we need to sacrifice our time hearing the holy name of the Lord, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and hearing various scriptures, and hearing the lectures. Then we will get that achieved results of the yajna. Otherwise, we just do superficially, it will remain superficially. And also in the previous 16th verse, it says Nanda Maharaj is giving charity to the cows, giving charity for the brahmanas as a cows decorated with the garments and flower garlands. So this give and take reciprocation must be also there with among the devotees. In the Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami given Dadati Pratigrahanati Guhya Makyati Prachati. So one should have these kinds of exchanges. When you have these kinds of exchanges, then naturally relationship grows between one another. Otherwise it will be just like you are doing your own activity, you are doing your regular things, I am doing my regular things, there is no relationship. That's why Srila Prabhupada made this wonderful temples all over the world to have these exchanges between the devotees. When you have these kinds of exchanges, then you can able to grow easily in the devotional life. Because if you see in the material world, mundane people also, they exchange their talks. Businessmen, they exchanges their business dealings, and as a profession they will exchange their sharing with the job, what they are doing in their job. And you see everybody, they are exchanging their feelings to one another. Similarly, it is very, very important to exchange our feelings and to give the gifts to the devotees. It is very, very important. One must cultivate this habit of giving gifts. So when you cultivate the habit of giving gift and taking gift, then naturally Lord Krishna will be pleased, and Srila Prabhupada also will be pleased. Srila Prabhupada wanted his devotees, his disciples, to cooperate with one another. Then only Srila Prabhupada will be feels happy. When you don't cooperate with one another, then naturally you don't show how you are loving Srila Prabhupada. If you are concerned about your own one department and you are not concerned about other department of services, then it doesn't establish relationship between you and him, because you are the same person. When you go to the Golok Vrindavan, you're gonna have the same person dealing with the same devotee. You cannot go there and complain, I hate this person, why he came again here. No, you cannot say that. First of all, you don't get entry. That's why we need to harmonize our relationship with one another. If you are not, you should try to take the guidance and how you need to harmonize your relationship. When you harmonize your relationship with one another, when you pray for that, then Krishna gives that intelligence how to harmonize our relationship with one another. So he may be having certain type of behavior, you may be having certain type of behavior, but we need to cooperate with one another. Just like a simple example, when we have in our family, everybody, we don't we accept everybody however they are, however whatever they have bad habits, right? But the same thing when it comes to the devotional service, when it comes to the devotional life in the devotees, you need to accept the same people. You need to try to accept. When you go to home, you accept however your father is there, however your mother or your brother, though they have any bad habits, although they don't know any culture, anything, how to talk, but still you call them as your family member. Still you love them. You may not show externally, but internally, if something happened to them, definitely you will stand by them. But the same thing when it's happened to the devotees community, you immediately reject them. Once Srila Prabhupada also, he cried for the devotees. One devotee was having a trouble with following one of the regulative principles. Then Srila Prabhupada mentioned, you just do what I say. Then over a time period, that devotee couldn't handle and he left the movement, and Srila Prabhupada cried for that devotee. So our acharyas give so much importance to the devotees, whereas sometimes we having troublesome with harmonizing our relationship with the devotee, but still when you pray for that devotee, definitely at least you need to pray for that devotee so that he can come back and join the movement. Once it happened in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj's time. So once there was a devotee, he was very enthusiastic and he was doing preaching rapidly. I mean, he was doing preaching very vigorously, and the devotees planned to have a temple in that area. For the opening of the temple, they called Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj for opening. Then the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj asked that devotee, where is that devotee? He was so enthusiastic. Where is he gone? Then the disciples told that Maharaj, this devotee behavior was weird and he did some mistake. We sent him away. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj became very angry and he stopped whole ceremony and he ordered his disciples, unless until you get that disciple, I'm not gonna come and enter in the temple. So he was so strict. And also protecting the devotee, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj also very very strict. When people, young youths, boys join in the Hare Krishna movement, then in the Gaudiya Math, then the parents would come and cry, give me back my son, give back my son, why you are holding? Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj orders his disciples secretly, take that devotee from the back door and give him and take it to other center and hide him in under the bed and hide him under somewhere when the parents come. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj told that if I don't do like that, then the Gaudiya Math will not have been grown. So Gaudiya Math to grow, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj has did like that. He took so many risks. And the parents were cursing Maharaj. Why you take my son? You are making my son into useless. And he's our next generation. You are stopping our family lineage. So they would all curse this type of words to the Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. But still, he would protect the devotees. So one should give these 6 kind of exchanges between the devotees, and one should also cultivate and harmonize the relationship with the devotees. Then only we can do this Sankirtan Yajna properly. Imagine if you have a misunderstanding with one devotee. You observe your chanting, you will not do chanting properly. You will not, your mind stable will be not, your mind will be gone somewhere with the fighting If you had a fight with one devotee, you cannot chant your regular rounds, and you cannot perform your daily activities, you cannot perform your devotional activities. When you go outside, you cannot distribute books, because inside that will be you will have some itching sensation when you have fight with a particular devotee. Then inside you are preaching, you are going to outside, you are preaching books distribution, you are saying take this book and you will have success in your life, you will get a peace in your life. While saying, inside Paramatma also will be saying, are you having peace? Are you chanting properly? So inside that voice will come, right? When you say outsiders, chant Hare Krishna mantra, be happy. But inside, are you happy while chanting? Are you doing everything properly? So that disturbance will come. Due to that disturbance, you cannot preach properly. You cannot, when you don't preach properly, when you don't say proper words or proper conviction, but other person will not convince whatever you say. That will happen naturally. He doesn't have to be a devotee, he doesn't have to be any person, he doesn't know Hare Krishna movement. But still, when you're giving a book, if you're having some problems in your mind, even though you're preaching, but the other person will not get convinced. That's why try to have good relationship with the devotees. When you have something misunderstanding, then just go and offer obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. When you do that, then you see how your rounds go smoothly. Then you can perform this Sankirtana Yajna. Then you can become happy. When you perform Sankirtana Yajna, that is the Yajna recommended in this age of Kali. You don't perform Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga or any yogas. These yogas are good, but at one point of time, you need to meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then only you will achieve the real goal of your life, the real peace of your life. Just by chanting Hare Krishna mantra with attentively and having relationship with the devotees, then you can grow your sadhana well. So now I'll stop here. It's 8:15. We'll see any questions, comments. Hare Krishna.
True. I was thinking how you mentioned devotees on book distribution. I was just distributing books yesterday, and I thought the same thing. We're saying this will make you happy and everything. But what I thought was that there's this hope that I can enjoy materially. There's happiness in the material world still. There's still that hope that there's something for me, something to be had on the material platform, and therefore the efficacy of the devotional practice, the results, are not palpable. So I find that so I'm thinking about the devotee relationships which you spoke about, how that concept of material happiness can also be there within devotee relationships, that I really want just a friend, or let's say if one's grihast, I want a beloved, or I want some sort of rasa. I want to experience some sort of relationship. And because it's with devotees, you're doing the devotional practices and so on, it seems that it's spiritual, but it's still material in one sense. It's still on the material platform. And I feel that there's a lot of frustration in this, and that's why there's so much, I don't know how to say it, like Prabhupada said, don't expect utopia in the material world.
Expect?
Utopia. even within ISKCON, he said it's not a utopian movement. It's still the material world. But anyways, this desire that, yes, I can somehow experience utopia here. So that's one side of it, is, rejecting this hope for material rasa. But then there's also the aspect of, how to relate personally with devotees. So on one hand, one's still materially influenced, and so the exchanges are on that level. And on the other hand, one can just kind of retreat into one's own, one's own self. And relationships are important, of course, for development of devotional service. In fact, they're the goal. So I'm just curious, like on one side it's impersonal, and on the other side it's just material. So I'm trying to find out what's the balance, if you have any thoughts about this.
I can share one thought. So first of all, happiness and distress comes naturally. Nobody prays for the happiness, everybody prays for the happiness, and nobody prays for the distress. But Prahlad Maharaj says, one should not over endeavor for the material gain, for happiness. It will come and go. And between the devotees, what I personally do is, I will share whatever I have in my mind to my counselor or whoever, whom I confidently believe in that person, that I have these material desires. So then when you share that particular type of thing, then that can be transformed into devotional service. For example, you are inclined to listen to the songs, but in over period of time you cannot able to give up that. It will give you some material happiness. But when you share with the devotee, then he will say how to overcome that. Then with you not do the equal level, then you should share with the senior level. There are percentage of association. So one should associate with equal level, 80% I guess, and with the junior 20%, 20 to 30%, and for the seniors 20%, and for the equals 100% you should be associate with, and for the juniors 20%. So when you associate with that, then you will gradually develop in giving up the material happiness, because this material happiness, it's not coming from this lifetime. This comes from the many lifetimes. It is the pushing from the inside. It is not from, we cannot think, we should not think that like Ethiopian area, when I chant the Hare Krishna mantra for many years, all the disease will go away. No, it will take some time. Dhruva Maharaj story. Dhruva Maharaj, he was previously in his birth, he was a Brahmana. When he was in the Brahmana, he was doing all his activities, Brahmanical activities. He thought once, I want to become a king. He had that strong desire that I want to become a king, because he was in the Brahmana community, and because he has the soul is in the Brahmana's body, that he couldn't become a Brahmana in that lifetime. The same attitude, the same desire was carried forward to next lifetime. Then he took a birth in the kingdom, in king's family. Then that's why he has so much strong desire to become a king. Then that desire carried forward to next lifetime. Then he became Brahmana. So these desires and these having lorded over, having enjoying propensity will not go so easily, but it takes some time. We should have patience. Then the devotee will also help you, because we don't know who is he and how we gonna act in that way. So when you share with that, when the devotee has also material desires, and you should be very patiently if you are able to correct him. Otherwise, if you encourage him in that way, then you will be also going down and you will be also passing away. Maybe that was my thought, and I hope this will not satisfy. Is it okay? You can ask Senior Prabhu, Subal Prabhu, or anybody. They can add it. Yes, bro.
I can just add one thing of what you say, which was very nice. In one sense, even if we are still not in the level or in the position of unmotivated devotional service, we still have material motivations mixed. Devotional service is still transcendental.
Right.
So it's just mixed devotional service with whatever particular condition we have, but because devotional service is transcendental, it will purify us if we follow. So, as you say, it's a gradual process that we have to be patient, but still the process itself, when it's guided, it is transcendental. And so we're engaged in that. We engage in
Yes.
that type of activity, transcendental devotional service. So it is just natural. It is designed like that because most of us are materially invested, or we are conditioned to this material world. So it is natural that there is a process of purification, and the process of purification, while we're going through, the recommendation is Tam Stitiksha Bharata. We have to tolerate, be patient and tolerate. Tolerate the whole discomfort or not being have that two opposite things happening, devotion and material desire. So we tolerate those things. If we, in the position of pure devotional service, the pure devotee is transcendental to happiness and distress. He doesn't have to tolerate things. He doesn't touch it. But because we are afflicted, we do have to tolerate, because we do experience and we get affected by happiness and distress. So then we tolerate and perform. So it's natural. So that it's just a natural thing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for your class. You made a lot of wonderful points, and you quoted one of my favorite pastimes with Bhaktisiddhanta, where you were mentioning that pastime is actually, the chapter is called Guru and Disciple Interactions. It's either volume 1 or volume 2 of my Bhaktisiddhanta pastime, and I really appreciate that because the devotee you were talking about was a brahmachari, and they said he was misbehaving with a woman. They didn't say how, but in that pastime, Bhaktisiddhanta says that one devotee means more to me than all of these arrangements you have made for this temple opening. So there's a quote that says, love people, not things. Use things, not people. And that's related to my original point that you were mentioning of the 6 loving exchanges. And since we're under the most material nature, a lot of our exchanges are the 6 lusty exchanges, like in the pastime of the churning of the ocean of milk. The demons, when they associated with the demigods, they say this is bad association. But then when they associated with Mohini, Murti, they said this is good association. So sometimes I have a 2-part question to this verse you were mentioning of 6 loving exchanges. Sometimes basically, how can we distinguish whether our interactions, because usually we like to associate with people who arouse our senses or arouse our false ego, hence racism, nationalism, sexism, etc. And so in another part of this verse is that it mentions one should inquire confidentially to a devotee. So there's a quote from the Bible that's one of my favorite ones. It's in the book of James, chapter 3, I think. It says, all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and sea creatures are tamed and have been tamed by mankind, but no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. With the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse human beings who have been made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My dear brothers and sisters, this should not be. So my question is related to that. When we hear that we should inquire to others confidentially, sometimes the fear may come that if I inquire to somebody confidentially, how do I know it's not going to be on Facebook the next day? Because a lot of times when we associate with devotees, a lot of our conversation is, did you hear who fell down? We never hear often, did you hear who rose up, who overcame their addictions, who overcame their depression, who overcame their anarthas? We don't hear that often. So can we advance in Krishna consciousness without really kind of exposing ourselves, even confidentially to someone, with the fear that it may get out? Can Krishna still purify our hearts without exposing our, embarrassing anarthas?
So, I can try this answer. One thing, you should have a faith in the devotee, whom you trust, whom you exchange whatever things are going in your mind. When you have a strong faith in that devotee, then only you should reveal. It's not that it's not like everybody, whoever you come across, you can just reveal and they will next day put it in Facebook or whatever. So we should not like that. One should be very careful enough, and at the same time one should have intelligence also. When you don't have intelligence, then that's your fault. You should have intelligence, because Srila Prabhupada wanted his disciples to be intelligent and planning. So the movement will go on that basis of intelligence and proper planning. When you don't have these two, then your devotional life or the organization will not go forward. We should have proper intelligence and proper planning. So one should reveal his mind, so that when you reveal, if you want to test a devotee, if you want to reveal something, then if you are getting correction by that revealing, if you are thinking that okay, I revealed this much, so this devotee helped me to overcome, then by that you can understand, then I can reveal more. When you see that this devotee is making fun of you or putting the Facebook and everything, then you should not reveal that. By seeing the person, you should able to understand, shall I reveal or not? If I reveal, what will be the consequences? Then you should be facing, which one should take responsibility for himself and the others also. And if somebody reveals anything to you, then you should also not be the same, you should not go back behind him and talk about him. So this is, this devotee has this much. So one should not talk. That is very, very dangerous. Once it's a pastime, the Lord Brahma was chasing after Mother Saraswati due to lust. So when he was chasing, all the devatas, some of the demigods, they saw that and they laughed. See, Lord Brahma is like that. So they then those people, they had to take birth in the mother Devaki, and they had to be killed. They had to be killed by their own uncle. So that is a committed Vaishnava aparadha. Though he may be doing very abnormal activity, we need to be very, very careful and not to commit any offense to that devotee. And at the same time, we should not talk about devotee. If somebody comes, Prabhu, what is this happened? Then immediately you should take, okay, whatever is happened is happened. The first thing is you cannot do anything. You cannot go there and change whatever is happened, and you don't have that power. You don't have that authority, and you are not ultimately controller. What's happening? Lord is sitting there. He is simply under him. He is watching what all the things happen. If he can control at any moment. Nobody can stop him. Rake Krishna mare Krishna rake ko. So when Lord thinks that I want to protect this devotee, nobody can do anything. When Lord thinks that I want to kill this person, nobody can protect him. So when the Supreme Controller is sitting, then why you are interfering in that? You are thinking that you are a controller. Then that should not be the case. So one should not talk if somebody comes with this is what happened. Then you should immediately, in a very pleasing way, you should tell that, Prabhu, did you hear that lecture? Can we discuss that point? Or not suddenly jumping, or if he is talking about something like that, then you should talk good things also. When you also join with the bad things, then you will also become equally contaminated. Is that okay? Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Itai Gaur Premanande.